You know, so many desires don't come true, not because they're impossible, and not because you're doing something wrong. They don't come true because there is tension between you and what you want. And most of the time, that tension goes unnoticed. It becomes the background, the normal state, something you get used to. You live in it for years and think that's just how life works. But tension is not neutral. Tension is a signal that there is resistance inside you. Look closely. When you really want something, what happens inside? There's tightening, waiting, impatience, fear of not getting it, constant thinking about it. And we often call that intention. But it's not intention. It's tension, and this distinction matters. A desire, by its nature, is light. It comes as an impulse, as curiosity, as a quiet yes inside. Tension appears later, when the mind steps in. What if it doesn't work? When will it happen? What if I miss it again? What will people think? In that moment, the desire is no longer clean. It gets wrapped in fear, in control, in expectation, and tension is always control. It's an attempt to force the future into a specific shape. But life doesn't respond to force. Life responds to state. And tension is one of the most closing states there is, because when you're tense, you're silently saying to life, I don't trust. I'm afraid. I need this to happen my way. And life hears that state, not your words. That's why so often people try hard. They visualize, they affirm, they think constantly. And the result either doesn't come or it comes with struggle and brings little joy. Because underneath all that effort, there was tension. Tension blocks desires not because wanting is wrong, but because it creates an inner conflict. One part of you wants, another part fears not getting it. A third part tries to control everything. And you end up pulling life in different directions. Life doesn't move through inner noise. It moves through clarity, through ease, through inner agreement. Notice this. The most natural things in life happen without tension. You don't tense up to fall asleep. You don't tense up to breathe. You don't tense up for something truly natural to happen. But when it comes to desires, we choose a different strategy. We tense, as if happiness has to be squeezed out, earned, forced. But tension doesn't bring results closer. It moves you away from the state where results are possible, because tension is always a signal of lack. I don't have. I need. Without this, I'm not okay. And from a state of lack, reality reflects lack. Not as punishment, as a mirror. When inner ease appears, things begin to move on their own. Not instantly, not magically, but naturally, because you stop interfering. Letting go of tension is not giving up on desire. It's giving up the fight with reality. It's a shift from I need to I'm open. And that shift changes everything. You still want, but you no longer tighten around it. You allow life to find the path. And the less tension there is, the cleaner the impulse becomes. The clearer the steps, the calmer the decisions. Desires don't like rush. They unfold in a space of trust. If right now you really want something and feel exhausted at the same time, maybe the issue isn't the desire itself. Maybe it's the tension you're holding around it. Try not to push, not to speed things up, not to check every moment, just soften the grip. Sometimes that's the strongest move there is. If this video resonated with you, watch it again. These ideas land better through feeling, not through force. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn how to desire without inner pressure. Here, we don't force life, we let it respond. And remember, anything is possible.